Welcome students. This is for the 6th semester student, the 4th lecture for the chapter, the unit 5. This completes this unit. We have already discussed one class for the guidelines of evaluation and assessment and stability study, second lecture, and the third lecture about patent and various definitions related to the patent, and case study also we have discussed in the class. And this is the last lecture for unit 5. And it is a short. They used to ask questions by these abbreviations and also the regulations, which we have discussed in the first lecture itself. What all the possible questions, and even we discussed about the past university exam questions. So it will be helpful for the students to listen to this lecture regarding this regulation issues and regulation in India for Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani, and even added a short description for schedule Z. So regulation issue or regulatory issues is a very important thing for pharmacy field. And we have many regulatory authorities, and we have employment in regulatory body, and we have the responsible for pharmacovigilance. And you might have heard about drug inspectors, drug controllers, and who are governing and who are controlling the manufacturing, distribution, and even usage of the drug. And it is used in the human health. So we have like health care, pharmaceutical care by means of various regulatory body is also plays a major role in playing about the regulatory issues. So here, today we want to discuss about this herbal drug regulation in India. Provisions relating to the manufacture and control of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. That's why ASU drugs have been prescribed in the Drug and Cosmetic Act. This act describes the formation of Drugs Technical Advisory Board DTAB, which consists of various nominated members, and the Drug Consultative Committee DCC and ex officio members. So we will see in detail about this from in the chapter. The first topic, the Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani Drugs Technical Advisory Board. That's why the abbreviation is ASU DTAB. The central government shall constitute a board by notifying in the official gazette. Official gazette, it is needed for notification in official gazette. The board shall advise the central as well as the state governments on technical matters arising out of Section 33C of the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, we have revised now, and carry other functions assigned. So Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss about Section 33C in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, which is revised latest one, regarding that is constitution of a board for Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani system. And Section 33D in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, we are going to discuss about the consultative committee, CC, consultative committee for Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. And Section 33 EEC in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, which regarding the prohibition of manufacture and the sale of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. That is also we have to discuss. That comes in this Cosmetic Act 1940. And Section 33, that is EED in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, which we are going to discuss regarding the power of central government to prohibit the manufacturing. Sometimes the penalties and giving the restriction, prohibition, if they are not following the regulation, manufacturing of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani. These details, we are going to see the regulatory implementation, regulatory pictures which were given in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, which is revised, the latest one. The constitution, we are going to see about the constitution of the board, in which ex officio member, initially the ex officio members, number 1, the Director General of Health Service, number 2, the Drug Controller of India, the Director Central Drugs Laboratory, Calcutta. They are the 3 members or ex officio. Now we are going to nominated members by central government, 1 government analyst, 1 pharmacognosist, 1 phytochemist, 2 Ayurvedic, 1 Unani, 1 Siddha Pharmacopoeia Committee. That means they have Ayurveda Pharmacopoeia Committee, Unani Pharmacopoeia Committee, Siddha Pharmacopoeia Committee. From that, Ayurveda 2, Unani 1 and Siddha 1. And 2 teachers, one teacher in Dravya Guna and Baisajya Kalpana. This is a subject in Ayurveda which deals with the pharmacology and the pharmacognosy, that means the natural herb drugs and its application and its formulation. A teacher who deals with this subject, 1 teacher is taken. And 1 teacher from Elmul Advya and Takliswa Davasahi. That means this subject is also from Unani pharmacology and pharmacognosy, which deals with the herbs and the formulation and application and the pharmacological action. Complete study of 1 teacher from Unani and 1 teacher from Gunapadam. Gunapadam is from Siddha. It's also from pharmacology of the herbs and the pharmacognosy behind the subject, which deals with all type of pharmacology and pharmacognosy, even minerals, the Gunapadam. 1 teacher. And 1 Ayurvedic and 1 Unani and 1 Siddha drug industry person. That means person who is working in Ayurveda industry, 1 person who is working in Unani industry and 1 person who is working in Siddha industry manufacturing unit. Industrial person, 3. One each have been a member that is nominated by central government. And 1 Ayurveda, 1 Unani and 1 Siddha practitioner who is a clinical practitioner who is practicing the systems. Ayurveda 1 person, Unani 1 person, Siddha 1 person. So totally you can see how many person? 3 ex officio members as we seen there, and 1 government analyst, 1 pharmacognosist, 1 phytochemist, and you can see 4 members because 2 Ayurveda, 1 Unani and 1 Siddha pharmacopoeia committee members, and 1 teacher from Ayurveda who deal with the Dravya Guna and the Vaishya Kalpana, and 1 teacher who deals with the Unani subject Ilumul Advya and Takliswa Davas Sagji, and 1 teacher from Gunapadam of Siddha system, and 3 members, that means 1 from Ayurveda, 1 from Unani, 1 from Siddha industry person who is working in industry, who is having the manufacturing experience, and again we are having 3 persons we have added, from 1 from Ayurveda, 1 from Unani, 1 from Siddha who is practicing clinical practice. So totally you see we are having 19 members, total numbers. So you should have an idea about this is the board. If they ask 5 mark question also, students can clearly write about the difference, the constitution of this board, the technical advisory board for Ayurveda and Siddha, which is constituted by the government of India. The constitution of the board, what we have seen in the last picture or the last slide, giving the same thing, I repeated. The board shall consist of the following members, which we are 19 members. In that, number 1, the Director General of the Health Service is an ex officio member, and the Drug Controller of India is also an ex officio member. The Director Central Drug Laboratory, Calcutta, is also an ex officio member. 1 government analyst nominated by the central board. 1 pharmacognosist nominated by central government. 1 phytochemist nominated by the central government. 4 persons that is nominated by central government, among which 2 from member of Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia Committee and 1 from Unani and 1 from Siddha Pharmacopoeia Committee. 1 teacher from, that is Ayurveda subject, who is dealing with Dravya Guna and Vaishya Kalpana to be nominated by the central government. Vaishya Kalpana deals with the processing and preparing of different dosage forms, and this Dravya Guna is an internal part of the Ayurveda subject which deals with comprehensively about the Rasa, Guna, Varya, Vipyaka and Prabhava. That is pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of the herb. Absorption, distribution, and also what the drug does to the body and what the body does to the drug, which we have studied in the pharmacology. This is by the pharmacognostical dealing with the pharmacology will be in the this is in the Ayurvedic system. And 1 teacher from Unani subject, Elmul Advya and Takliswam Davazazi, to be nominated by the central government. The Unani subject, Elmul Advya, that is, it is a pharmacology and pharmacognosy dealing with some special pattern, have been adopted as particular name have been given to indicated for a particular drug used in Unani system. Drug standardization lab and the Davasazi lab, this is the Unani pharmacy lab subject, which deals with pharmacognosy and pharmacology. So one person will be selected, a teacher. One teacher from Siddha who is dealing with Gunapadam to be nominated by the central government. Gunapadam plays the vital role in Siddha system. It is one of the major department in Siddha. The subject includes Moligai, Thadu and Jiva Vagupu. That means Jiva Vagupu, Thadu, Moligai. This all comes from Moligai. It's a plant source of pharmacognosy dealing with, and Jiva Vagupu and also Thadu from the minerals and many other sources, which is the dealing with pharmacology and the pharmacognosy subject in Siddha. And 11th one, 3 persons, one from each represents the Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drug industry to be nominated by the central government. 3 persons, one each from all the 3 systems, from among the particular practitioners actually, clinical practitioners of Ayurveda, clinical practice of Siddha, clinical practice of Unani, the 3 systems of medicine to be nominated by the central government. So that we have seen that 19 members totally, when we see, will be the part of this advisory board, technical advisory board. What is the function of this board? The central government shall appoint a chairman from among its members. The nominated members of board shall hold office for 3 years, but shall be eligible for re-nomination also. The board may make the laws by regulate its function and conduct of all activities. The central government shall appoint a secretary of the board and shall provide the board with such clerical and other staff also. Now we are going to come about what is the consultative committee after the board, from the board only. The Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs consultative committee. This abbreviation which is ASU DCC. The central government may constitute an advisory committee as mentioned in the section 33D of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act. The committee may advise the central and the state government and the Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani Drugs Technical Advisory Board, that is ASU DTAB, on any matter for the purpose of securing uniformity in the administration of this Act, Section 33D, throughout India. Constitution and the function of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani Drug Consultative Committee shall consist of 2 persons nominated by central government and 1 person from the state government who acts as representative of respected governments. The Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani Drug Consultative Committee shall meet when required to do so by the central government and shall regulate its own activities as per their requirements. Now, regulation for the manufacture of Ayurvedic or Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. We have many manufacturing units. We need some regulation, especially for the herbal formulations in 3 systems. So the section 33 EEB of the Drug and Cosmetic Act describes the regulations for the manufacture and sale of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. The Act has set some standards related to the hygienic conditions, factory premises, prohibition of manufacturing in case if they doesn't follow the rules, and the sales of certain drugs and penalties for contraventions, not following, opposite to the rules and regulation of this act, that is contravention of this act, penalties should be given, and offensive regulations will be given by this committee. The following requirements are taken into account for this explanation is 1 or A. Requirements of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani factory premises and hygienic conditions. We are going to discuss about that. And B. Prohibition of manufacturing and sales of certain Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. And C. Power of the central government to prohibit the manufacturing or sale, distribution of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs in public interest if they are not following the rules or the guidance given by the authorities. And D. Penalties for the manufacturers, sales and distribution of prohibited Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. And the E is manufacturer if he is having manufacturers having one or more than one set of premises. So these all 5 subheadings we are going to discuss now. First one, A. Regulatory or regular requirements of factory of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani premises and hygienic conditions. As per the Act, it is mandatory to maintain proper hygienic conditions in the factory premises along with the following requirements. Factory or an industry involved in manufacture of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, they should not be situated to adjacent to open sewage, drainage or public lavatory or any other factory that produces obnoxious odor, large quantity of waste, dust or of smoke. You should not prefer the factory to be in that area. The premises of manufacturing unit shall be clean, hygienic and free from insects. Free from insects, there is a spelling mistake, free from insects, rodents and other contaminations. The wall and the floor of the manufacturing room should be smooth, easily cleanable with water and should not accumulate dust or waste products. The water should be water which is used in the manufacturing or manufacture shall be pure and drinking quality, and it should be free from pathogenic organisms. Very important. It should be sterile actually. The adequate facility should be provided to process the containers and closures which you are using in the manufacturing area. Very, very important. What all the things? Washing, cleaning, drying. These all should be separately given. And there will be many other works also will be there. Cap cleaning or cap sterilization. These all should be separate area should be given for containers and closures, and it should be separate from the manufacturing unit. Suitable arrangements shall be provided for disposing the wastewater and other materials in a manner that does not affect the health of the people surrounding area of your manufacturing unit. Personal working person, that is employees, should be periodically you have to check. That is personal working in the factory should be free from any contagious diseases. Appropriately dressed should be provided, sterilized one, to provide the workers based on the nature of the work. What is the nature of the work? According to that, you should give a dress and it should be clean and sterilized. Adequate facilities for personal cleanliness for the employees, such as soap, towel, antiseptic should be provided in the proper area. And facilities for drinking water, separate washrooms should be provided for men and women. And the second one, prohibition of manufacture and sales of certain Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. The Act prescribes some criteria to prohibit the manufacturer and the sale of certain Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs which are not manufactured or sold in accordance of the rules. If they are away from the rules or against the rules, if they are not following the rules. The following category of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs can be prohibited from the manufacture and the sale. So you should know that which all will be prohibited by the authority. 1. Any misbranded, adulterated or spurious Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, it will be prohibited. It will be restricted or it will be prohibited by the authority. The proprietary or patent medicine which does not display the list of all ingredients on the label of the container. Any proprietary or patent medicine, you are not getting the permission from the person who is the researcher or who is the identifier, who is the prime investigator, who have been patent for that particular medicine. It is not allowed, prohibited, does not display in the list on the ingredients also. Selling, stocking and distribution of any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs which has been manufactured in contravention of the provisions of this act, they also will be prohibited. The manufacturer or manufacture, sale and distribution of any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs for which license have not given or not been issued by the prescribed authority. If he is doing or he is manufacturing, they are prohibited by means of our law and act. The above rules do not apply for Vaidyas and Hakims. Who is this Vaidyas? Vaidyas means who is traditionally practiced by Ayurveda. If they want to produce for their personal use, for the personal patients, if they want to prepare, so they can prepare. So these rules does not apply to the Vaidyas and the traditional Ayurveda practitioners. They are Vaidyas, and Hakims means the traditional Unani practitioners who can prepare for the use of their own patients, this law can be exempted. The above rules do not apply for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs which are manufactured in small quantities for the purpose of examination, test or analysis. They can manufacture. Number 3, the power of central government to prohibit the manufacture, sale and distribution of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs in public interest. When the Section 33 EED of the Drug and Cosmetic Act prescribes certain powers of the central government based on which the government can prohibit the manufacture, sale, distribution of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs which involve any risk to humans or animals, or such drugs does not have therapeutic value or claimed by the manufacturer, or any misbranded or spurious drugs. So they all will be prohibited by the power of the central government if they are doing this type of list of drug which even causes risk to the human being and animals. Hence, in such circumstance, the government may prohibit the manufacture, sale and distribution of the drug in public interest, and also they will be given penalties which we are going to discuss now. The D is the heading which is giving that penalty for manufacturer or manufacture, sale and the distribution which is prohibited for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs as prescribed under the Section 33(1) of the Drug and Cosmetic Act. Any person himself or his behalf is engaged in manufacture, sale and distribution of prohibited Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, penalty has been fixed as per the following guidelines. Any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drug which is deemed to be adulterated or manufactured without a valid license shall be punishable up to 1 year imprisonment and with fine up to 2,000 rupees. Any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drug which is deemed to be spurious shall be punishable with imprisonment up to 1 to 3 years and with a fine up to 5,000 rupees. Any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drug which contravenes any other provisions of this act, shall be punishable with imprisonment up to 3 months and with a fine up to 500 rupees. Number 3, suppose if the manufacturer is having manufacture on more than one set of premises, the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs are manufactured one or more than one set of premises, a separate application shall be made and a separate license shall be obtained for each premises. Now Schedule Z, short question they are asking. Schedule Z, which we have discussed only, that's the act which we have discussed, the section which we have seen. Schedule Z is the Drug and Cosmetic Act, outlines the regulation for the manufacture and sale of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. These regulation includes requirements for factory premises, prohibitions on the manufacture and the sale of certain drugs and penalties for contraventions. Schedule Z of the Drug and Cosmetic Act of India regulates the manufacture and sale of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. It provides guidelines and requirements for the following: premises of manufacture of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs for sale, permission and permission to undertake clinical trials for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, hygienic condition for factory premises, prohibition of manufacturing and sale of misbranded, adulterated or spurious drugs, penalties and contraventions such as imprisonment and fees, which we have discussed. So you see, Schedule Z means, what is schedule? The primary function of schedule is to be decluster an Act's provisions. The Act's provisions are concluded, or a short form of the Act is a schedule. So schedule is that if they ask in a short question, you have to explain. If they ask 5-mark question, you can explain about the Act and the various duties of the Act and the fact behind the penalties can be explained. So you see, that provides the guidelines and requirements should be written clearly: permission to manufacture, permission to undertake clinical trials, and hygienic condition of factory premises, prohibitions of manufacturing, sales, misbranded, adulterated and spurious drug, and penalties and for the contraventions such as imprisonment, fine. List what we have discussed in the Act comes in the Schedule Z. Thank you. This finishes your chapter 5, that unit 5. Only one unit is left that we can discuss. In the next class, we will start about that with the questions which they have asked. This chapter, please go through for all the lecture. All the 6th semester student should be thorough now. Your examination schedules and will be second sessional will come fast, and then immediately you should be ready for the final exam. Thank you.